since the eating portion I think is intriguing, and it's a big part of the recovery process when you are dieting, we'll start with that. So this is kind of sort of what the scheme has looked like since we stepped off stage. First, we got to make sure there's no food on us, simply because we've been doing a lot of eating, more than we had been the last few months anyways. We are in the recovery phase, completely the exact opposite of the last few months, in that I've been trying to strip away body fat. Now I'm trying to put on body fat so that I can get to a healthy point, so that all systems are operating full tilt, and I am able to then proceed with what I hope will be a successful off season. But before I go there, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. It helps us, the team, grow. If I get, we'll say, 400 likes, I'll disrobe for the last time in a minute, and I'll give you guys a update of the damage done, or better said, actually it's more like fixing the damage I did in a way. So here we go with day of eating. All right, kimchi. All right, this is meal one. Pomegranate, largest banana, one kiwi, sun gold, if you don't know, and probably the biggest apple I've seen in a while. This right here, me and Cynthia made a pact that we're only gonna have so many of those a week, because they can make you lazy. So one a day. Dog tax right here. This is meal one. On our way to recovery, guys. Yo, look at that. 2:30. It's a new course though, so that's the really high rank. But that's a PR. 3:36 was the best I was able to muster during prep. So not bad. First PR, kinda. That is legit something I want to stay on top of this off season, is just keeping my cardiovascular system at a reasonable level. It used to just come to me by default to a certain extent, like any day of the week, give you a mile under 7. Not so much anymore. Not at this point in life. So yeah. Ooh. Well, those are the Puzzin trunks back there. So putting those away for a minute. So yeah, we keep up with some cardio, 2 to 3 sessions a week. One long, slow one, one medium, more intense one, and then one short, slow one. That's it. Okay, so a little 10-minute trot. We doing this because otherwise, days like today could mean I don't get out the house, especially since I'm only training 3 days a week. Could be cooped up in there all day, and you don't realize it until it's too late. So this is, I guess, legally at this time of day, your last chance to get something that I'd consider officially sunlight. Yeah, tell you what, it's training 3 days a week right now has really, it's confirmed in my head. It was the right move, because I'm really in no mood, nor can I be bothered to do more. And that's just because, you know how it goes. It's like pickup basketball games when you were a kid. It really is like you sit down, you get cold, and then you get back up and you're all stiff. So that's kind of sort of how I feel. It's like I can't be bothered to do more on the bodybuilding front right now. Like this is plenty, and yeah, I'm perfectly fine at this point with keeping it this way until January. I feel like I'm a South Park character right now, but I'm probably being overly dramatic with this outfit. It's actually quite nice day today. All right, so we had the bagels, egg, and I'm cheating, man. Just one of them days. We have enough work where I don't feel like slaving over the stove, so I'm gonna sneak in a little protein feeding here. See, the pack has 18. We shop on a weekly basis at Costco, so the way I see it, she gets her 7, I get my 7, that's 14. So you're allowed a day or two where, yeah, you could be a little lazy.
And play really well against this Bills defense. Like 225 yards, 220, when I say 220 yards tonight, and to go along with a good run.
All right, tres leches. Tres leches. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds perfect.
Sounds perfect. Good. Man, these are so clutch. So yeah, milk and milk, basically. We'll probably sneak something in a little bit later, but this is about 700 calories a day, I think, according to the label. Probably off, but we'll call it 700-ish.
Don't try to talk me out of it. Listen, you can't touch Mikey.
All fun and games. Yeah, it was kind of sort of my usual foods. It probably roams a little bit more along the lines of what I was eating during prep. But I think in the meantime, until weight is really, really difficult to push up, I want to get more of those foods in because eventually it does get to the point where just how as you try to push weight downwards, it gets harder. Same thing on the way up. There's a force fighting back in that direction, and some of the foods that I've kind of grown to like, acquired a palate for, I've found very useful over the course of this prep. Well, they're just gonna be harder to get in. So as of right now, kind of running my day in that fashion, and then at the end of the day, like a dessert of my choice. And usually it's like you guys saw, it's like Cynthia gets her own small piece of it, and I get like the whole thing, whatever's left over. Which honestly, after that tres leches cake, I'm like cooked. Like I hope the scale gives me some good feedback by the end of next week, so that maybe I can tone down the amount of calories that I am eating over the course of the week. Simply put, calories, they gotta be over 4,000. That is it. I'm not too worried about the ceiling, simply because I just get full. I just get full. That's so if I could get closer to 5,000, fantastic. But my non-negotiable daily intake is going to be about 4,000. It's almost been 2 weeks since I stepped off stage, and in all, it's been about 5 pounds. I hope that within the next 2 weeks, we add another 5 pounds. It's going to be close to 10 pounds in a month. And for me, it's a struggle, guys. And it's a struggle for a few reasons. I think the best comparison I can give you guys is, and maybe not everyone's gonna be able to relate to this all the way, but one of like my first like, whoa, this is kind of stressing and I'm not at ease, is the whole being self-employed situation where literally your income kind of like does this. You're totally like uneasy about it at first, but then eventually you just realize it comes in waves. And the same thing when it comes to calories as a bodybuilder. It's like sometimes you're overeating, sometimes you're undereating. And I've been through enough of those cycles over the course of my training career. And again, I've been trying to bodybuild in some form or fashion since 1999, that post-prep, yeah, I know what I gotta do, but there isn't a whole lot of push to eat this and eat everything. If anything, at this point, it's like I have to urge myself to do that. And sometimes it can be hard because it does go against a lot of my like dietary habits, whether they're on season, cutting, or even in prep. I usually run a pretty inclusive diet where, you know, for the most part, I'm just managing calories. And yes, the majority of my food is good food, but if I want a pint of ice cream and I'm prepping, I'm gonna have that pint of ice cream. One thing also that I picked up on is the fact, compared to my counterparts, because it was an international show, my last show I did, being always surrounded by American food, the commercials, you're just kind of less bothered by it, but maybe not bothered. It's just always there. So like after Worlds, I was just like, man, I just kind of want some sleep. But I know what I really need right now is some ice cream. Again, I would like to end the year, and I don't think it's going to be a problem at all, over 170 pounds or at about 170 pounds. So that is the goal. My running average towards the end of the prep was about 159. And by the end of December, I should be right around 170, which is perfect. But it's not just the nutrition that we've been staying on top of. Also, the training has been modified. I'm only training 3 days a week right now. And the reason for that is that I love bodybuilding, but the last few months have been somewhat smothering. So it's nice to have just a little space, more time in my everyday life. And I'm only going 3 days a week, maybe 3 to 4 sets per body part.
1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6.
You could say, I'll break down what the split ends up looking like in my next update. Simply because you know how it goes, like new training splits, it's like the first week you try them and there's a few things you modify here and there. What looks practical on paper is not so practical in real life. So we're still kind of sorting that out. But as of today, once I go train today, it's been, I've been able to get about 4 training sessions in since World, 5 maybe, I think 5. And it's gonna be 3 a week until mid-January, because you guys have to remember, as much as we love training, it doesn't feel stressful. It's quite stressful. So by removing a lot of the incoming stress that training does cause, that's gonna help my body heal up. It's gonna help me get to that safe zone again, where it's like, okay, coast is clear. Let's really start to work on that next campaign. Well, calories, again, they're gonna be somewhere between 4,000, anything above that goes. Training 3 days a week, 3 or 4 sets per body part. It's semi-aggressive training, at the end, it's just much less volume, and it makes you realize how much time you do spend in the gym. Cardiovascularly, again, 3 sessions, 1 long 60-minute session, 2 shorter sessions at 30 minutes apiece, and this is just something that's going to stay there from here until the end of the off season. I hope. I will not let that bike turn into a coat hanger. When it comes to the personal life, just being able to be there a little bit more for the people in close proximity to you. So Cynthia, my girlfriend, just being able to, hey, like, have our weekly dinner dates back, or 1.5 dates. Just life's a little more random right now, and you don't have a whole lot of that when you're prepping. Today I went to go meet up with a friend for some coffee, and tomorrow I have a breakfast date with another friend. So it's little things like that. And the breakfast date with my friend tomorrow was something that he just hit me up about a few hours ago, and I can totally just say yes to these things. Like, bodybuilding isn't taking up a whole lot of my time right now. So if anything, I'm really, really enjoying this. It was earned in a way. I can look back and I'm like, man, that season was satisfying for a number of different reasons. And yeah, it's just good to put it aside for a while, wait a few weeks, and I know that come January, mid-January is what I'm thinking, I'm gonna be so excited to just get back in there and really get to work. And at that point in time, it's gonna be appropriate to really make those pushes, because hey, I'll have a healthy amount of body fat in my body. I'll be excited to dedicate more time to my bodybuilding, but also a lot of this dead time just gives you a chance to reflect on everything. On everything, including like the prep. So what I'll do is I'll update you guys on a monthly basis when it comes to my stuff, in the off season. Next video, we're going to go over some of the lessons that I learned during this prep, some of the things that I would have changed, and just a general how I'm doing. But I'm also taking this month to just dedicate, write us some scripts, and put more stuff out there for you guys, so that it's not just about like me and you guys learning from secondhand from my bodybuilding adventures, but more putting out more stuff out there that I feel you guys can directly benefit from. So that's how I'm doing. Sitting about 5 pounds above contest weight. I've definitely put on some body fat. It feels weird to like sit on adipose tissue, but you know, again, like, do I miss the shreds? No, not really, but that's because, you know, I've been there and I've exited that phase numerous times, but I can definitely see how this can be hard for a newer lifter. So, and if anything, words to anyone who is coming out of a prep, there's definitely things about your physique that you like, right? That were like, you know, big positives. Those were constructed when you weren't shredded. Like, that's why you look that way. And then kind of the same thing when it comes to the things that you know, kind of bug you about your physique. Well, you're not going to be able to work on those until like your body is at peace when it comes to like the available energy that it has stored, and until you're like hormonally 100%. So if I left out anything here that you guys are generally curious about, type it down in the comments. But I'll see you guys in about another 3-4 weeks, and I'll give you guys the update in regards to how I'm doing, how much better I feel. Already, I think like about 90% of the mending process has happened, but I need to be 100 in order to really put my best foot forward and have, because that's always a goal, the best off season I've had to date during the 2023 year.